But couldn't the federal government or anyone have seen this coming? This infrastructure were not in space, and they were not invisible. Everyone could see them. So if there was vandalism that was going to take place, some people would see them. So isn't it possible to have foreseen that these things would happen? Telcos had that problem for a while, and somehow we don't hear much of it anymore. Even if it still exists, it's not as significant as it was in time past. So shouldn't the federal government have seen this coming and done something about it?
The contract for surveillance that I'm aware of. There's a contract for surveillance across several kilometers. The question then is what's happening with that contract? Is it well implemented? I always say this: the problem with Nigeria is not brilliant people, lack of brilliant people or brilliant laws or policies. And I dare say the minister is quite a brilliant individual. Now, the issue is with one, implementation, two, at times corruption. So you'd ask yourself, what's wrong, what's happening with that contract? There is actually a surveillance contract in place. It's implementation you need to ask. How is government's role? We really don't care. You and I shouldn't be bothered. If you ask for a job, you then have an obligation to perform. But yes, you could make excuses around the historical challenges, and because of the long lead times around energy, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's electricity, whether it's even mining to a more limited extent, it's a long lead term. So if you begin to do things, you at times do not see the real result immediately. It's very difficult to get things over the counter. Usually, you'd have a 2-3 year planning period and working towards achieving what you want to do. Azura took 7 years at the minimum, for example. So yes, they should anticipate. You should have an EMS, an emergency management system in place, have your SCADA. Even in cases where you have plant strip off, you should have spinning reserves, because if you look at our market rules, grid code, you find all of these. But are they being implemented as they should be? I dare say no. And I think that's where the challenge is. Implementing these things we put in place.